Trump hater Mitt Romney has announced that helps running for a Utah Senate seat with a new video. Now, he's getting a brutal surprise from the last place he expected it. Former Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney has been part of the Never Trump crowd from day one. In essence, the former governor of Massachusetts is one of the biggest RINOs ever to walk the political landscape, so it's not a big shock that he hates President Donald Trump so much. Adds fire of content in a new video. Romney announces his run for the Senate and takes a cheap shot over immigrants at President Trump. However, much to Romney's dismay, it didn't take long for locals in Utah to speak up for themselves, delivering the failed presidential hopeful a nasty surprise as they called him out with a brutal response. As Daily Caller reports, Romney tried to distance himself from President Donald Trump with a few pro-immigration comments. He said, "Utah welcomes legal immigrants from around the world. Washington sends immigrants a message of exclusion," adding that people treat others with respect at the Utah Capitol building. "It all looks normal until you take a second look." Pics Brado Fo X adds fire of content find out more greater than 96,513. Unfortunately for Romney, natives of Utah don't really look at him as one of their own and many see him as more of a carpetbagger. Romney has only lived in Utah for approximately 5 years, relocating there after a devastating event took place in his life. Adds fire of content doing this before bed could help you regrow your hair. Watch this regrow hair X. The unusual link between coconut oil and Alzheimer's memory repair X. Why doctors in the know no longer prescribe diabetes medication. Heating tips X. In 2012, Romney suffered a humiliating defeat in the presidential race against the worst president in history, Barack Obama. Not long after this embarrassing loss, Romney headed for Utah to lick his wounds. Now, there are a number of officials in the state who would just rather he stay quiet and let candidates who actually come from Utah run for the Senate seat. I think he's keeping out candidates that I think would be a better fit for Utah because let's face it, Mitt Romney doesn't live here, his kids weren't born here, he doesn't shop here, Utah GOP chairman Rob Anderson told the Salt Lake City Tribune. Anderson also blasted Romney for essentially doing what Hillary Clinton did in New York. If you remember correctly, Clinton campaigned in the state of New York where she hadn't really spent much time. Anderson's criticism of Romney is unusual in the sense that a party chairman doesn't normally attack a potential candidate. In Romney's case, Anderson is making an exception, and rightfully so. Why on earth would the state of Utah want someone as liberal as Romney representing them in the Senate? It's pretty obvious that Romney's announcement for a Senate run will make him the instant front-runner and presumptive nominee. Even so, Anderson, who is typically looked at as a moderate voice within the Utah GOP, suggested it helps simply using name recognition to win a seat. Anderson went on to ask Romney a couple of questions that I think a lot of people in Utah would like to have answered. "I have 2 questions for Mitt. First of all, why and how do you expect to represent Utah when you don't live here?" he said. Anderson gave the public a clue as to why Romney may not face any formidable opposition in his bid for the Senate seat, which Orrin Hatch argued will soon leave vacant. "Nobody wants to go out there like David and Goliath and get defeated by the Romney machine," he said. To top it all off, Anderson went after Romney for not being a true conservative and even outed him as a Trump hater. "He has never been a Trump supporter," Anderson said. "I just want somebody to support the party platforms." I could not agree more with Anderson. The people of Utah don't need a fake conservative who is going to push big spending and mass illegal immigration or amnesty. It all looks normal until you take a second look. Pics Brado Fo X adds fire of content find out more greater than 49,819. In my opinion, Utah would be far better off electing a new senator from within their own ranks. Why would they want an outsider like Romney to bring his overshadowing failure as a presidential candidate with him to the state? I hope they wake up before it's too late and give Mitt Romney the boot.